Hey guys, happy weekend. We're going to start with our Strat scanner and look at just kind of the amount of insides, two downs, two ups that we had last week. So first thing I'm going to do is click on weekly, and then I'm going to go to my quick filter. I've already made a sector watch list, and then I can sort by current candle. So it kind of groups everything. So we only had one inside week, which was SPY. 1, 2, 3, 4, two downs, and then the rest were two up weeks. So mostly two up weeks. So let's go look. Like we said, SPY was an inside week. So whichever side of that breaks gets our attention. We are kind of set up for we are set up for a two down, two up reversal that could potentially trigger the week and get us to new all-time highs. So we'll see on Monday. Qs did tag the week two down, but then they bought that gap down buy. So potential for this to be bottom of a broadening formation. Yeah. That would be your range. And then same thing, two down, two up, set up for Monday. Two down, two up, weekly trigger, orange line, all-time high target. IWM much weaker, went outside weak. IWM is the weakest one. It's the only one that has triggered its monthly downside reversal. But if we trigger on Monday, we could again negate the monthly trigger like we have here. I guess that would be it. So we'll see. So potential for simultaneous upside breaks on Monday. DIA was really cool last week. You had on Monday, here, let's move all the lines back to where they were. On Monday, you had a two down, two up, which went on to trigger the week at 476.30, which went on to hit a new all-time high. So it hit its weekly target. And then on Thursday, you got a reversal back down through the range, and we hit two targets Thursday and Friday. So we have a broadening formation here. Again, we are set up for potential upside setups on Monday. So we'll have to see. I'm not too trusting of them at this point, especially with DIA ending the week as a big shooter. So this would be an all-time high exhaustion reversal weekly shooter, right? So we'll see. XLE was obviously very strong. The month is still in force. Well, the month was triggered in force. Alex has been talking a ton about XLE. We've maintained above the monthly trigger all week. We went 3-2 continuation this week, and we hit T1. Next target is the quarterly trigger at 92.91. Then you got, and if you don't remember, outside year is the magnitude for energies. So a new all-time high, 98.97. XLF inside month. Now, you did go two down, two up week, and you hit two targets. And then just like DIA did on Thursday and Friday, you had reversals. Oh. So got to be good about taking your profit, especially when you're in an inside month. So now we're set up for back down with a two up, two down week for XLF. XBI did its job, hit its all-time high target from the two down, two up week last week. And then they gap down bought with SPY and Qs. So still, pretty strong. No targets above because we are at all-time highs. But closer to going 3-2 continuation up, it looks like. Oh, that was for Elaine. It was her birthday. Gold had a nice rally last week, and then again with the market kind of sold off at the end of the week. I much prefer to cover this on the futures chart, but we're not going to. inside week and up, still inside month. So gold was a lot weaker than silver, which you'll see silver here next. So potential for a shooter week to go in force. Silver, see on the futures chart, on the real silver, we did hit a new all-time high, and then they pulled back. But I'm going to cover all the futures and stuff on Sunday night show with the live stream at 6 p.m. So silver did hit a new all-time high, like the futures. SLV did not. And so they pulled back end of week, just like the market did. So we'll see what we get next week. See if we get a shooter week to go in force. XLU inside month, which is why things are likely to fail. We like the most twos in our favor. So failed 2 on the week. So now we're looking down. And if this weekly works, we can trigger the monthly reversal. Which would be back through there and through this pivot machine gun. XLB just was not strong enough to hit target last week. See, we hit downside exhaustion back here after taking out that pivot. Came back up through the range. Kind of mixed signals on this one. We have a green 2 down month, but we have a shooter week. So a little tricky. Unless they want to just continue on Monday and go 2 up, and that would keep the month green and going to outside month target. So that could be a potential for what could happen, especially since we have kind of a simultaneous Monday up situation brewing. What is this? XLI inside month. They attempted to go 2 up on the week, failed with this shooter, and then went outside week. So once it goes outside week, it kind of does its job. Now we don't know. So we'll have to see what sets up for next week. Again, set up for a 2 down, 2 up reversal on Monday. The dollar did get its upside reversal because we hit that target that we've been eyeing for months. Hit that target, got a weekly reversal. Did not hit downside target. So next week, do they continue back up is what we want to know. XRT failed 2 up week. So this looks closer to continuing to the downside, which could trigger a quarterly reversal. If we hit magnitudes and keep puking. XLP, looking good for bottom of the broadening formation. You see back here, we took out those lows last week. This week, we reversed. It's still good, still in force. And then you've got a hammer for Monday to keep continuing it upwards. It is trying to go outside month. We're only halfway through the month, so it's trying to go up and back through this broadening formation, which would look like this. So XLP also looks nice for Monday. And you got an inside 4 hour that could trigger the day. XLV, we've been saying how strong this one is. You had an inside week last week, and it hit 1, 2 targets. Technically more. Okay, and then on Monday, you're set up for a potential 2 down, 2 up to continue to that 155 target. Trying to come back up to all-time highs, I believe, yeah. XLY went outside month, I think. Yes, XLY went outside month. So now we don't know. Potential downside exhaustion risk. And then again, set up for potential 2 down, 2 up to come back through this range maybe. Because we still do have a double top up there. So it'd be pretty crazy if we went outside month down and then outside month all the way back up. That would be pretty sweet. But we got to see. And that would start with a 2 down, 2 up reversal on Monday. XLK, inside month, 2 down continuation that did not go anywhere because the gap down buy. So also set up for a 2 down, 2 up reversal on Monday. So most of the market is set to reverse on Monday. It kind of depends on where we open, of course, but from where we close, we look a lot closer to upside. And if that 2 down, 2 up works, we could trigger a 2 down, 2 up week and then come up back through the highs. We do have NVIDIA earnings after market close on Wednesday. Thank you to Elaine. I saw that in our Gappers chat. SMH inside month, barely 2 down continuation week, gap down by Monday. Same story, right? So this 2 down, 2 up could potentially trigger the weekly reversal and come back through the all-time highs. But again, we do have NVIDIA earnings, which is going to heavily impact what this does. VIX did its upside job, took out the highs at 22.72, and then reversed with the market at the end of the day. Got a shooter week. Nope, not really a shooter, but potential for a 2 down. Sorry, 2 potential for a 2 up, 2 down weekly reversal. Wow, words are hard. Look at this broadening formation. It's pretty sweet. High, low, new high, new low, new high, back through, trying to make a new low. That's awesome. We love that. Bitcoin still going down. Did take out a major pivot from back in June. However, I remember calling the reversal at the top. That was awesome. Let's go to the daily. It was right there. Well, how much have we puked since then? Just curious. 24, almost 24%, or almost 30,000. Damn. Because we had a broadening formation, right? So we knew this was all-time high exhaustion risk, top of the broadening formation. We got a daily reversal down, took out some pivots, then kept continuing down. A bigger broadening formation, if you look at the quarterly chart, would be to get down here to 74,420. Because we've got our highs and we're stalling out up there. So higher highs coming back through the range. So now the goal would be to make lower lows. If you go to the 6-month chart, which we only have a month and a half left of time, but the 6-month chart is trying to go outside month. And even if it doesn't, on the next 6-month flip, you are a lot closer to going 2 up, 2 down to still hit that target. So Bitcoin hodlers have a plan. And something I always say about crypto, Bitcoin, is it's a great idea to take some profit at a new all-time high every time. Because you can almost always buy back in lower. So, and that's all I've got for us for this week. So we're going to let them open on Monday. and see what they do. All right. Have a great rest of your weekend.